Evan.
Hello.
Okay, so now we're going to have group 3. Oh, well, I just want to ask about group 2. Last time you said that E.M. Gallaudet was married to Susan Dennison.
Sir, Jasmine saying, can you please make sure that you do not discuss what's going to be on the test, because I will be taking the test tomorrow.
No, it's not what's on the test. It's about your presentation from last time.
Okay, sir.
So some of you, I think it was Ming and Jasmine and was it Yami presented last time?
Yes, that's right, sir.
Okay, so you said that E.M. Gallaudet married Susan Dennison, right? Was it his first or his second wife? Did you check?
Meng saying second wife.
Yes, it is his second wife, yes. And it seems that she was hearing, even though Dennison was deaf.
She's hearing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not clear, but I think it would have mentioned if she was deaf. Okay. So yes, his first wife died, I think, in childbirth. And then about 4 years after she died, he got married to Susan Dennison. Yeah. It seems, I forgot how many children he had. I think he had maybe 8 children, 5 with the first wife and 3 with the second wife. So very productive.
Sir, with his first wife, it's 4. With the second wife, it's 5.
Wow, 4 and 5. Okay, yeah, I knew it was a lot.
Yes.
Okay, good. Just to close up on that. Okay, so the third group will now present. And the third group is presenting time after the test, after the period covered by the test. Yeah, and Jasmine, in relation to the test, there are 3 problems on the test, 3 questions on the test. So if you run into those, you run into 3 questions you cannot answer, don't worry about it. I'm not going to grade those parts. Anyway, just do your best on the test and work with Christian tomorrow to do the test. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'll make the presentation now.
Okay. My name is Renz. I'm in group 3 with Marvin and Kyla. I'm sorry last week we didn't do our presentation because Marvin's absent, but we're happy that he's here and he's healthy. Yay, yay Marvin. Next, Marvin, next slide. In 1883, a deaf woman was the first to graduate, where there were no prior female enrollees for the deaf mute college. She later then became a teacher and an advocate. In 1869, I believe, I might be wrong. Sorry. 1869. First to graduate was John,
Hotchkiss, yeah.
and they Hotchkiss, and there were three of them altogether that graduated. But now we have the first female graduate, by the name of Agatha Teagle, or Angela Teagle. Girls were not allowed to attend college, and there were many factors, from oppression of women to their perception of being weaker, and also their role at the time was to be homemakers. So there were many things that played into women not being able to go to school. Next. Next, please. Marvin, next. Okay. In 1894, a school by the name of the National Deaf Mute College was changed to Gallaudet College. And this decision was made by a committee which then decided to commemorate T.H. Gallaudet. So they named him after the school. In 1895, deaf teachers all around was around 21%. So as you can see, there was another decline in the number of deaf teachers in the States. Next. I think this is Marvin or Kyla. Kyla? Can we spotlight Kyla, please? In the 1900s, deaf teachers, as you can see, declined even further from 1968, where there was a lot of deaf teachers. So we can see the decline. Now it's 16%. It was a very quick decline. So in 1867 to 1877 to 1867, there was no oralism and everyone used sign language to communicate. In 1867, from 18, sorry, let me get their attention. Sorry, one moment. Okay. Okay. In the 1900s rather, teachers that were deaf were in the decline. 16 from 6 to 16%. In 1868, there were many teachers, around 42%. There was a lot of deaf teachers at that time, and we saw that there was a decline in the 16 to 16%. So from my understanding, 17 to 18, so 17 to 1867, there was no oralism at the time, and the main modality was sign language. 1867 to, I believe, 1882, oralism started to, the oralism was not much. Oralism was still not present, but it was emerging. Okay. In the 1900s, most were schooled using oral, around 47%. And remember, before it was 7% oral, and now it has almost gone to half of deaf students now learning through the oral method. Next, Marvin. In 1905, I believe, with deaf people in the US. I think it's the next slide. So 1905, so over 50% of students were now learning speech. They set up a school in the Philippines in around the same year, and who knows who established the first deaf school? Do you know who? In 1907? Yes, that's right. Beebs, you're right. Delight Rice.
Delight Rice.
Okay. All right. So, and I'll give you a background about who Delight Rice was. As you can see, this is her picture. Wait, go back. And it was established in 1907. This was her name side, perhaps because of her cleft chin. Barrows was the director of education in the Philippines. And he saw that many deaf children were not schooled. So he took it upon himself to contact Delight Rice from the United States and asked her if she could come to the Philippines so that she can establish the first deaf school here because it was really needed. Delight Rice agreed. Remember, there was no airplanes at that time, so she took a boat and arrived in the Philippines. Delight had experience teaching both deaf and blind children in the city of Ohio. Next. Marvin. Is that you, Marvin? Okay. In 1907, the school was established, the School for the Deaf in the Philippines, and also for the blind. And now it has changed to the Philippine School for the Deaf. Delight Rice had a small class in Ermita. If you know, it's in Manila, where she taught deaf children. And Delight, remember that Delight's parents were deaf. Delight herself was hearing. Delight Rice saw two deaf individuals and one blind individual somewhere in the province. It didn't say which city. I assume that they were farmers, and Delight saw them one day signing to each other using also natural gestures. Perhaps they were farming atis. She asked their parents to bring them to Manila so that they can have education. The parents disagreed. Delight was trying to figure out a way to convince them, and she offered them money so that she could school her children, and they agreed. She brought them to Ermita in Manila, where she was renting her house, and uh, perhaps she was also teaching oralism and sign language as well. Okay, next. Here is a picture of Delight Rice. She has her arms crossed, and you can see that there are children, but they're not signing. So that's why I assume that they might be learning how to speak. Marvin, you're next. So spotlight Marvin. Hi, Marvin here. In 1911, some of the parents who had deaf children and wait, hold on, let me get the slide up first. Okay. In Nebraska, advocated that the children would not use sign language and would only learn oral. This was in Nebraska. So children were not allowed to use sign language, and they wanted to make it a law. This committee passed the law, whereas oralism was the mode of instruction for deaf people, where they were required to learn lip reading, and they were not allowed to use sign language. And this US in all schools of the deaf. Can you see me? Is it frozen? Okay, just checking the interpreter. We're good. Do you know Frank Booth? He was E.B.'s son. Do you know? He was a famous painter, I think. Or no. He was an editor. So this was Frank Booth. And sorry, Frank Booth, we'll just say FB. He was a hearing person who wanted to promote this law that speech was the method of instruction. USAID was the organization where he was a part of, again, to promote oralism all over the country. Any deaf persons using sign language, well, they were prohibited to use sign language, and they were encouraged to speak and lip read. And this was applied all through the states. Okay. In 1912, the first deaf school in Mary Haskins, and you can see this is, sorry, I'm just making a joke about my mask, but it looks like me because of my teeth. Sorry, this is, okay, just a joke. So as you can see, this is a map of India, and this school was established in Sri Lanka, which is a little bit south of India. Sri Lankan Shrine, this is the sign for Sri Lanka, by the way, Sri Lanka. The school was established by Mary, like I mentioned, and in Sri Lanka, as you can see, there are 17 schools. And just like in Mindanao, they have virtually the same culture and believe in spirits and ghosts. Mary set up the first school in Sri Lanka, 8 in fact. And she gave control over her school once she was retired. I don't know who they were, who their names were, but their schools still continue to this day. This is Mary, and a statue commemorating her and what she's done for the deaf community. So you can see her standing, and this was established in 1920. And also, she also established a school in Myanmar. That's it. I'm done.
Okay, good. Marvin, you say that it was against the law in many states in the US to use sign language or only in Nebraska?
One minute. In all of the US,
No,
they
only in
wanted
Nebraska. Only in Nebraska. Now, many schools were using oralism, but only in Nebraska was it a law.
I see.
Okay. Okay, great presentations. I would like to get for each group, I think you've done 2 presentation now, right? Each group has done 2 presentation.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I want you to, if you can, share it with me. So just the group can get together and decide how you want to finalize your presentation, if you want to change anything. And then when you agree on the final version, then I want you to please send me a copy so I can keep this. Also with the names on there of who was in the presentation. So if I add those slides to the presentation, I will mention your name as these are your slides, for example.
Kyla.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So in the history of the Philippines, when PSD was started in 2000 or 1907,
Mm-hmm.
before that, it was the priests that had a journal. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just adjust here. A Chirno journal where there were 2 deaf boy Filipino.
Mm-hmm.
And in the story, the priest was the name Roman D. Prado, where it was him that saw the deaf boys in the farm and talked to the parents, not the light rice. So he was the one who got, he was the priest by the name of Prado, who wanted to learn sign language and also teach them about religion and faith. So I just wanted to clarify. And then did you want me to add that information as well, just to
Yeah,
make sure?
You will decide. You think it's important? I think it's important, but you must think it's important. So if you think it's important, please add it. Yeah.
Yes, I do think it's important. Yes.
Yeah.
I'll add it.
Yeah. So you can take your time, and actually now I can give you some time, all of you some time to work on that. So it's about, we have about 20 more, let me see, 20, 30 more minutes left. So you can work on.
Jasmine here. So you mentioned that we put our name. Maybe we could also put our pictures as well.
Yeah. I can do that.
Yeah. What you guys have to do your own way, because I'm going to put my own style in it.
Yeah, but Jasmine, here's the way I want the picture, okay? The way I want the picture. Because Jasmine always never smile. Jasmine, never smile. I'm teasing you. No, yeah, please put your names in writing, and if you want, you can put your picture and put your name sign. If you want, okay?
Yes, we can do that, sir. Jasmine saying.
Okay, all right. So right now, because I think it's good for you to reflect and go back on what you've been doing rather than going, just pushing ahead. So I'll give you time to work on this. And if you need more time next week, we can also give you more time to do that. Okay?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah, and try to make it as nice and clean, no mistakes in typing, and make sure that it's, it's not like.
Right. Yes, sir.
It's all very organized. Yeah. I mean, all of you did an excellent job on both presentation. And some of you had some very interesting new information. All of you did in your presentation. So this is why we do classes like this, so you can, find out more. Okay, so we will close for now. Jasmine, you will take the test tomorrow with Christiane. And next week, if it's okay with you all, we will have Tuesday class and Wednesday class on deaf histories. And Thursdays, we will have the review for deaf culture. And then
Okay, sir.
2 weeks, we will have a test on deaf culture. Okay, so on Tuesday, if you want to, I hope I will have the grades of the test by then. We can discuss that if you'd like, and then go on with new information. And if you have any questions about, like how should we arrange our presentation, then you can ask those questions and everyone can give you feedback about that. Even deciding which picture of you looks best. Okay?
Ray has a question.
Yes, right.
I'm just curious, Dr. Woody. When we start on Tuesday's class, we start Tuesday's class again, right? We start again
Yes,
on
yes,
Tuesday. We have a class on
yes.
Tuesday. Okay. So now we did part 1, 2, and 3.
Mhm.
You'll get a grade and we will be able to discuss the grade on Tuesday. Will you have it ready so we can check if
Yes,
you got your
yes,
answers right and wrong?
yes, yes. Yes, we can discuss. We can discuss the test and how the grading happened, because 3 of the question I cannot include because they were correct on my version, but when it got converted, not so clear.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is first time for me teaching online. Maybe, I don't know, you study online before, but first time for me teaching. So, have to be careful to make sure we're fair to everybody and try to do the best we possibly can. Okay? So we'll see you Tuesday next week at 2 o'clock your time. And you can continue now with discussing your presentations if you want, or you can meet later to do that. Okay?
All right, sir. Thank
So see
you.
you. Thank you to the interpreters too. See you on